Hello, 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 and welcome to an EdeAscent. But this EdeAscent is actually an RT appetizer because um, I've determined a couple of things while playing this game. One is that I want to play as little as humanly possible during the last season because it is immensely stressful, and I wish to remain sane so that I can progress into the future. Two, whenever I am recording, I seem to do incredibly poorly. And then, as soon as I stop recording, I seem to do much, much better. So, for the sake of my points and for my brain, I am just going to play off the clock. That's not a good turn of phrase for this. Offline, I guess. I'm not going to record me playing live, and then I'll just show you what happens afterwards. Um, just because it's better for everything. So I do apologize, but you'll only have to put up with this for like a week. So put your big boy pants on, put your big girl pants on, and then take them off, and then go take a shower because you stinky. We're just gonna do this. So join me, shall you? Anyway, we're facing Raiksu in the Kyudo Guild in Europe. They go for Polly, Ran, Dilibet, Caesarea, and Pyra. I go for Sululu, Ahmed, Bellion, Aravi, and Sage Ball. So, my opponent banned Landy, Zio, and first picked Polly. So I assumed they were going for Ahmed. So I picked my unbuilt Ahmed to take that away from them. So let's see how that turned out for me. I don't think she's completely ungeared. I just don't think she has most of her gear on. There she is at the back. Ran is unsurprisingly going to go first because they banned out Bellion because they need book. So they are going to pop up the Sululu, which is fine. They don't really have any follow-up, though, and this won't kill anybody. It will defense break everybody, but Aravi gets annoyed, smacks the Oran, and takes off the skill null. Ahmed is almost dead. But, like I said, they don't really have a follow-up. So Pyra is going to do her thing, give attack buff to everybody. Sage Ball, I'm just going to S2. Hopefully sleep perfect. 3 out of the 4 is exactly what I wanted. Because now I get to cleanse, and I actually find out something interesting. So I proc Politis's Astral Guide, and then I wake her up, and then it procs Astral Guide. Which I didn't know. But hey, it's fine. It actually healed me, so who cares? Dilibet is going to go into everybody. Won't reset anybody because everybody has high ER. Sululu continues to counter, which is great. Again, Politis is just going to do what Politis wants to do. It won't debuff anybody, which is great. Oh, it actually got a debuff on the Aravi, but that might have been 15%. Or it has a decent amount of effectiveness. Who knows? Anyway, I'm just going to S3 into the Ran. Take him out because he's currently the only source of damage. And then I can do Ahmed things, and they're just going to give up. Which is great for me. So yeah, that was the first fight. Let's jump into the next. So here we have someone in the Asia server. They go for Lua, Aravi, Ran, Celine, and Eda. I go for LRK, DJB, Stene, Senya, and LHC. They ban out the Senya. I ban out the Eda. So let's go ahead and see how things go. So Ran is going to be taking the first turn, and then Lua, which is fine. They don't have Soul Burn, but this will still probably debuff everybody. I do need to be... It is a symbol of Unity Ran, so it does a good amount of damage. I also do need to be wary of, you know, not dying to the Celine. So all I have to do is just not do any extra attacks because they will go into Celine, or they will go into Stene, and currently they don't have a good means of reaching the Stene. So they're just going to go into the LRK, which is perfectly fine. Aravi is going to go next. Unfortunately, they dual attack, which procs my LHC, which procs their Celine, which kills my Stene, who is going next. So that's the rough layer of luck that I was dealing with yesterday. I am going to kill the the Ran and the Lua. But it's just too much damage, and there's so little chance of a dual attack here that I am just going to pop out there. So the game might have been a bit different if, you know, they didn't get a dual attack, but that's fine. It's a different kind of losing to a dual attack. But hey, let's see some more, shall we? Lethy, hooray! I am facing Stufano in the Mori Guild in Global. They went for Hand Guy, Fire Lilias, LHC, Landy, and Senya. I go for Lua, Arwell, Lethy, Flitica, and Charlotte. They ban out the Charlotte. I ban out the Landy. Let's see how things go. So, Lua shall be going first. I lied. I forgot my Flitica is much faster. So, I am going to reset the Hand Guy, I believe. Just because I don't want him cleansing. If I can get a defense break, that'd be nice. I do, but I also don't have any damage, so I guess that does not matter. And in lieu of that, I am just going to sleep the Lilias and go into the LHC. No defense break, but that's fine. Hand Guy will push up the Lilias. But all this is perfectly fine. The Senya is a bit of a problem. They do get a dual attack immediately, which is a little annoying, but oh well. I'm going to stun the Senya because the LHC is immensely slow, and the Senya is the biggest problem. So, gonna S1 into her. No provoke there, which is good. Let's go ahead and blind the Lilias, even though that doesn't matter because, you know, she can just cleanse. Gonna push up the LHC with the Hand Guy. Go into the Flitica. It did, like, nothing, so I don't know if they didn't crit. But that's fine. I soul burn here because right now the biggest threat to my Lethy is the Senya. So I'm going to go ahead, go into the Senya. I know this will trigger the LHC. I actually end up hitting, but not quite killing, which is fine. But I still have my S3, which I can use to strip a buff from the LHC. Hopefully it's the defense one. It is. They can reset the turns, but that doesn't really matter all that much. It also provokes Lua, but that's fine. She's been doing her job, so I don't particularly care. I can now just get rid of the Senya completely, just to make sure that there's no shenanigans with her. I am also going to try and blind and defense break the LHC, which is wonderful because that will... boy, that's a lot of damage that she's losing if she doesn't crit. But she is blind, which is a 50% chance, so she will probably just crit everybody. Which she crits the Lethy and the Flitica, but because of the defense break and not having a defense buff, it did, like, nothing. So they're just going to S1 into the... Flitica, take her out. Lua's still in stealth, just kind of chilling. Gonna get rid of that speed buff because it is annoying. And now we can start working on the LHC. So as long as I don't get a random dual attack, I should be fine. Even with the barrier from Hand Guy's S2, I should be fine. Gonna keep going into Lethy because she is the problem, but they really don't have enough damage without Senya. which is great. I can also just, sleep the LHC to get rid of the barrier. But I'm just going to sleep the hand guy for reasons unknown. And then, I don't know, I'm just kind of clicking around at this point. No use to S3ing quite yet. I might just anyway because I like pressing the buttons and seeing the animations because that's the whole draw of this game. Gonna stun the Lionheart, and then Lethy is going to S1, and here comes the Octopode, the singular Octopode, and I'm going to eat the LHC. And now they have a hand guy and a Lilias. And this is the part where they keep playing. I don't necessarily know why, but they are still trying to take down a 25k unit with a Carrick and a Fire Lilias. I give them the question mark just because I'm confused about why they're still here. Because I don't think they really can kill Lethy at all. And they do eventually take the hint. I think the dual attack seals it, maybe? I don't know. They're still here. They're still going into Lethy. That's fine, but I have Lethy's Soul Burn again. So they quit now. I guess they were trying to kill Lethy before it got to Lethy's turn, but she took like 5k damage, so I don't know. But that's fine. Let's keep going, though. These are supposed to be longer videos, so we'll make them longer. Hooray! So, this is one of my more recent fights. It is against Clover Days in the global server. They go for LRK, LHC, Arwell, Karina, and Zio. I go for Lua, Flitica, Knackle, Strays, and Architect Leica. They ban out the Architect Leica. I ban out the Zio. Let's see how things go. So, Flitica is going to go first. I don't need to strip anything, so I am just going to go straight into the Karina. Reset her. Just to take her out of commission for a while. There is no need to do any sleeping quite yet, so I am just going to S3. Reset. Nobody. I thought I might reset the Arwell, but it didn't. So that's fine, and this would unreset the LRK. So Arwell explodes, which is great. They can go into whomever they want. They're gonna go into the Landy, get a defense break and a good amount of damage. LRK has his S3 available, so that is fine. I believe Landy counters, which is great, goes into the LRK. Proxy LHC, but everyone is crit resistant, so I have some hope. Landy, if you could salvo. Alright, that's fine, I suppose. Zahak. Strays is also invincible, so that's fine. They don't actually end up critting anyone. Landy still can't salvo. But it is worth taking her out now because one day she might salvo. I'm going to strip some buffs. I had hoped to get the defense buff from the Karina, but not quite. Gonna S1 into the LHC. No debuffs on my end, which is unfortunate. I am going to put the Karina to sleep because she is the biggest source of damage at the moment. Lionheart Sermi, I'm just going to S1. I do luckily defense break, and hey, Strays is here. No need to S2 quite yet, so I'm just going to S1 into the LHC, take her out, which is fantastic. Thank you, Strays. Karina's turn is going to be skipped. Going to S1, get a defense break, which is great. Strays, I am going to Soul Burn the S2, take out the Karina, and LRK will be able to S3 again. But my Strays is at full health. So even if the other two die, my Strays should still be able to survive. Flitica goes down. Lua takes a good chunk of her health, but I did Soulburn Strays' S2, so he does have another S2 ready, and that is enough to get the concession. So that was a very good match. Well done, Strays. Maybe one more, though. So the last one I have for you today is my most recent one. It was against someone in the Asia server, went for LHC, Arwell, Pyra, Solitaria, and Karina. I went for Landy, Yolha, Flitka, Ed, and DJB. They banned out the DJB, I banned out the LHC. Let's jump into things. So, Pyra is going to be going first, but that is fine. Notably, Hand Guy and Karina have immunity, so I can't really do too much with them. Pyra's gonna S2, which provokes a counter from the Landy and a salvo from the Landy because she has learned since her last fight how to salvo. But it does also proc the Karina, which is great. It procs the Ed as well. The Solitaria resists, which is to be expected. It's probably an ER Solitaria. Karina now has a choice, though, to either go into the Landy or go into the Flitka. Because the Flitka can still reset someone. And Ed doesn't have a restrict or any debuff on him, so I can push him up. Yolha as well. They are going to S3 into the Knackle. Unfortunately, they don't get the defense break, and it does counter, which is just funny to me, and salvo. Because that's the joys of Landy. I believe they did the Vildred thinking emote in response to that, which tickled me greatly. So I can kill Solitaria here, but Solitaria is how my Ed will be doing most of his damage. So I'm just going to go into the Hand Guy, do a good amount of damage to him. Because Solitaria will have to S1, which will have to proc Ed, which will do a good amount of damage to the Hand Guy. They're going to start going for Flitka, which is to be expected. They do get a blind on the Landy, which is a little annoying, but that's fine. I can eat the Hand Guy here, but he was provoked by the Ed, and that's a 2-turn provoke, so he won't be able to cleanse anyway. So I'm just going to S1 into the Hand Guy. He's going to go into the Ed. Ed is going to go into the Hand Guy because everyone else is Stealth or Karina. They are going to stun the Flitka, which is fine. Landy, even a miss, is going to kill. I don't get a salvo, which is a little frustrating, but that's fine. It just would have been nice. They get a dual attack, which doesn't provoke a counter, but I'm fine with that. Defense breaking is essentially what they kind of deserve after they missed the initial one. But Ed does have his equivalent exchange again. It hits the Karina and the Solitaria. And they get another dual attack and stun the Yolha with the Pyra, which is, if you can believe it, frustrating. When the Pyra keeps stunning the Yolha. They get another dual attack with the Karina. So I don't know if this Karina is on Unity set or what. But the Solitaria S2 is going to proc Ed once more. They can theoretically go into Ed to give him a defense break instead of an attack down, but they're just going to go into Yolha. No dice, hit with the water unit. Yolha goes into her again, hits but does not stun, which means I can now eat the Karina. And I think an Ed and a Yolha can solo a Pyra, because the Solitary can never win, especially if Ed hits. But they've been hitting my grass units constantly, so Ed hitting a water unit is perfectly fair. And that is going to be the game. So that was really fun. But yeah, I'm just going to do overdub for the last week because I can't handle the mental fortitude of thinking about a game and talking at the same time. So I'm just going to think about the game and then talk about the game afterwards. It's a win-win for everybody. But we'll be back to the live stuff later. I need me time, okay? You're smothering me with your love. Thank you for watching. If you like this, go ahead, hit the like and the subscribe button. If you did not like the video, I will bite your face. And if you felt incredibly ambivalent about the entire thing, then buy and play Baldur's Gate 3, because it is immaculate.